And today we're getting to a conversation around an Italian delegation that is here in South Africa to scour for investment opportunities in agriculture, retail and healthcare, amongst other sectors. I'm joined by Dr. Roberto Raggi. He's from Dedalus, Italy, and Kwasi Okyere, Boakye. He is the head of corporate finance at African Financial Group. Gentlemen, thank you for making the time to join us.
Thank you for receiving us.
Roberto, what brings you to South Africa? You're in search of opportunities. Are you finding them?
No, I think I found opportunities already. And we found already decent partner. And we are happy to continue to work with them, as well as with the African Financial Group that is suggesting a very good selection of potential partners also for other companies.
And Kwasi, let's talk about the sectors and what those opportunities are looking like. And of course, why Italy? I mean, the focus on Europe from a South African perspective has been one of a little bit of uncertainty. But here you are charging ahead in partnership with Italy.
Well, if we look at the strategy of African Financial Group, it is to bring original and innovative solutions to South Africa where we see opportunities. So we look at agro-processing, we look at healthcare, which is one of our major strengths. So we don't focus on the problems of Europe, but we focus on the solutions that Europe has to offer to South Africa. And in partnering with Daedalus, they have got a wealth of experience with regards to setting systems which fit hand in glove with the solutions that we want to present to Africa.
A quick one on Dedalus, Roberto. High level, what is the business model and what is it that you're able to bring to market?
I can tell you what Dedalus is first. Dedalus is one of the main companies involved in healthcare solution. And when I talk about healthcare solution, I'm not talking about software or device. I'm talking about management of healthcare services. Daedalus is fully devoted to manage healthcare services with the most recent application and with the most recent evolution of medicine. Medicine is pretty in a huge evolution time.
So medicine very important, because if we come back not just to South Africa but maybe to the developing market broadly, the scope for investment opportunities in terms of generics and cheaper options of medicine is just really untapped. How is this partnership going to be a game changer in the space?
That's very interesting. To correct you a bit, we're not into the selling of medicine per se. We're looking at healthcare IT solutions and other solutions that will make the healthcare systems in Africa and South Africa more efficient. And Dedalus has got a depth of experience.
If I can add something to what Kwasi was saying, I would say we are enabling enablers. We are trying to create with the existing tools the best potential outcomes. So our solutions are aimed to that, to create efficiency. We are coming from a region, Emilia-Romagna, that is considered one of the best areas in the world about public healthcare services. And private healthcare services are collaborating 100% with the public system. And we are lucky that even WHO or companies like yours are recognizing that Emilia-Romagna has one of the best healthcare systems. And that is why our region is called the wellness region, because we are pretty careful to the managing of what we call the value chain of health.
What makes South Africa attractive? I mean, the African market is broad. We're looking at in excess of 54 countries. Why here? Why the tip of the continent?
First of all, I've been in South Africa since some time ago. I enforced the idea that to go to Africa, you should come first in South Africa. South Africa is a place with decent logistics, is a place with good human values, very good human values, and is a place where we can make friends. And the friendship, first of all, is the first mover in every kind of business.
It's not often that I hear that friendship is the first mover in any kind of business. I think you should get a patent on that, Roberto. But again, the challenge or the premise that Roberto has put on in front of us, Kwasi, is the fact that South Africa remains as the gateway into the African continent. But you've seen other markets claiming that very position. Kenya in East Africa, for example. So how is the AFG able to leverage the fact that it's in South Africa to enable players like Daedalus to then go and leapfrog into the broader continent?
Right. Well, if you look at healthcare on the continent, you cannot dispute that South Africa has got some of the most efficient and effective healthcare systems. So on the continent, I don't think there's any country that can claim to be much more superior in terms of healthcare service. And at AFG, we have developed over 20 years of supplying solutions to the healthcare industry in South Africa and across certain African continents. I mean, sorry.
Countries.
Excuse me. And so we have the know-how, we have the networks, and we have all the necessary resources. I don't think that there's any other company that has got a depth of resources like AFG in order for Africa to realize its dream of good premium healthcare services. So
it's very interesting that we're having this conversation today, because Life Healthcare, one of the healthcare players, today announced that they had invested in a Polish business called ScanMed, and again tapping into infrastructure in the Polish environment. So the question then becomes, are we almost seeing a complementary two-way investment and co-investment amongst European markets into South Africa and African markets, in particular around healthcare infrastructure and technology around healthcare? What's your assessment of the broader space?
Absolutely. What you say is on point, because we also have a relationship with an Austrian company called Vamed. They are well established in Europe and well established in West Africa. And they know how to manage healthcare services. They know how to build healthcare infrastructure. And so we are inviting them to be part of African Financial Group to unlock the healthcare value on the continent. So it's certainly a two-way.
Roberto, a quick comparison in terms of healthcare systems in South Africa and Italy. It's not often that we get a really good insight into the state of healthcare there. How would you describe the industry, and what are the key tension points or challenges that the Italian system is facing that South African investors looking for reverse investment could be looking at?
First of all, let me tell you that we start from two very far away points. Italy is one of the best, probably, public healthcare system in the world. Here you have one of the best private systems in the world, very expensive, but one of the best. But we are observing, as an enabler, as I told you, the two models are converging. And why they are converging? First of all, because there is a need to converge. They are not sustainable, both of them. We know very well that the private system is too expensive for many people. We know also very well that in Europe, the public system that were giving everything to everybody are not anymore sustainable. So we need to find a decent middle way. And I do believe that the present technology allows to create this new pathway to maintain a decent level of health for all of the population.
Bring this back to the ordinary South African. How does this change my experience of healthcare? How does this partnership change my experience of healthcare?
Very good. So with the technology that Italy has developed, specifically Dedalus, it makes providing healthcare that much more effective. Currently in South Africa, you can look at the healthcare spectrum divided into 3 tiers. You've got the upper market, who have got the ability to access private healthcare. You have got the lower portion of the market who go to public hospitals. But you have the middle, who have got the financial ability to access some of private healthcare, but not all of private healthcare. And so they are forced at times to go to public healthcare. And so with the integration or the introduction of effective IT healthcare systems, we can now make it much more efficient for people in that category to access a wide array of private healthcare.
Have you had a successful scouring search for investment opportunities as you go back to Italy? Is your investment search complete?
I don't think it's complete. It's never complete, and I hope it will be never like that. I think we found a very decent partner in African Financial Group. First of all, the leader of African Financial Group is a doctor. Mm-hmm. He understands healthcare both by the point of view of a doctor and by the point of view of a patient, and this is very important.
Changing the experience of healthcare for doctors as well as patients through a collaboration between Italy and South Africa. That's how we wrap up business this week tonight. Thank you so much for making the time to join me. And a big thank you to my guest, Dr.Roberto Raggi from Dedalus in Italy, and Kwasi Okyere, the head of corporate finance at African Financial Group.